I don't stand side by side with nobody till I bleed with them first.
What did we just see? You probably think this world is a dream come true.
When I step into this ring, yeah, bro, I am addicted.
Don't sleep on Luca!
Maybe tomorrow we'll all wear 42.
If you fight for your dreams will fight for you!
On April 23rd, 2023, Stardom held their All Star Grand Queendom event in Yokohama Arena. As the match card was announced, it was quickly shaping up to be a great show. A show filled with title matches, novelty matches, and even the retirement of one of Stardom's finest. The show began with a high-speed tag bout with Starlight Kid and Mei Seirai facing off against Azumi and Mei Suruga. This match came to be when Starlight Kid invaded Gato Move's dojo and challenged Mei Suruga to a tag match. Mei Seirai would be revealed as Starlight Kid's partner for the upcoming event. Seirai last wrestled in 2021 and was making her return to wrestling with this match. Mei Suruga would reveal that her tag partner of choice for the match would be none other than Stardom's high-speed champion and Starlight Kid's eternal foe, Azumi. At last year's Cinderella Tournament Finals event, Azumi and Suruga faced off against one another for the high-speed title. After successfully retaining, Azumi made the declaration that she would want to team with Suruga one day. Along with this, in her first title reign as high-speed champion, Azumi faced off against Seirai. Four masters of the high-speed style in a tag match destined to be chaotic, especially when it was revealed that the match would have no tag-ins. Essentially, whichever two members are in the ring are the legal members. This led to a chaotic affair as all four members went all out with the speed. Pin reversals, dives, counters, as well as character work from Kid and Suruga. The match stipulation definitely led to some confusing moments and more than its fair share of pinfall breakups. Kid was on her A-game looking to prove she is more than ready to graduate from the high-speed limitation. All four women broke out some beautiful and creative pin attempts, and the match outcome looks to have implications for the future shows as Mei Seirai pinned Azumi. Our next match was a match that featured the returning Fuwa-chan. Fuwa-chan is a Japanese celebrity and this is her second match in Stardom. In the lead up to this match, I saw many referring to her as the Logan Paul of Japan, so there's a comparison for the type of match this is. Fuwa-chan impressed many in her debut and now looked to team with her trainer, Hazuki. Their challengers would be from Queen's Quest, and it would be Miyu Amazaki and leader Utami Hayashishida. The two would step up to the challenge as Utami wanted to test and challenge Miyu. The match that followed was a fun and surprising match. Fuwa-chan took a beating, but that didn't stop her from dishing it out as well. She hit a crazy drop kick on Miyu and even hit a huge German suplex to Utami. All four got their shine, especially Hazuki. And the moment of the match that was catching all the attention online was Utami nailing Fuwa-chan with a huge lariat. Fuwa-chan sold it to perfection and was put away by Utami with a German of her own. Another great addition to the card and to the list of celebrity matches. Like many of the recent celebrities, Fuwa-chan showed she put in the work to train for this match and even wants to look into how she can potentially do it more. Our third match on the card was the most emotional of the night. Back in February, Donna Del Mundo member Himeka would make it known that she was planning to retire. Originally, April 23rd was to be her final match. However, she wanted to work with certain talent outside of the promotion and the only agreement they could come to was the week after this event. But the emotions in this match were still high because this was her final Stardom match. Back when she announced her retirement, she let it be known that she had a list of wrestlers she wanted to wrestle before her retirement. The final match on that list, for April 23rd, was her tag partner and fellow Donna Del Mundo member, Maika. Tag partners for the past 2.5 years, the two have cemented themselves amongst the best. As many would come to reveal online, Mina Shirakawa was the one who announced Himeka to the ring in her debut, and now she was here to do the same for her retirement. Himeka and Maika made one thing known for this match. They were not holding back. The two would charge at each other and lay into each other with stiff strikes. Lariats, suplexes, and stiff strikes galore. Maika hit a huge stalling suplex to Himeka off the top rope at one point. Himeka got her big moves in, but nothing could keep Maika down. The two would go back and forth with big moves until finally the moment the two knew would come. After hitting a second consecutive Michinoku driver, Maika looks down at her partner with tears in her eyes. She can tell this is the end, but she doesn't want it to be. She can win this match, but it comes at the cost of her best friend's career. She slowly lifts her friend up and cries out to her to please kick out before nailing her with a headbutt and yet another Michinoku driver. She goes for the pin with tears in her eyes, praying for a kick out, wanting to continue forever so that her career doesn't have to end. Alas, the 3 comes and Micah can only cry and say goodbye to her friend. The two find each other one last time and embrace. The journey has come to an end for the Jumbo Princess. The match that followed was personally a bit of a dud to me. After an emotional match, Stardom followed with a tag match for their version of the Tag Team Championships. In Stardom, it is known as the Goddess of Stardom Championship. Champions Nane Takahashi and Yu faced off against Mirai and Ami Sourei. The story of the match was that it was the 3rd time that the New Era would be challenging for the tag titles. Throughout the match, the two would have to overcome the powerhouses in Takahashi and Yu. It was a struggle throughout the match, and the match would reach a conclusion when both teams fought on the outside. As Mirai and Ami got in the ring, they prevented Takahashi and Yu from getting back in before the 20 count. To the surprise of many new viewers, the titles changed hands via countout, and like I mentioned at the beginning, it was a match that sort of fell flat in my opinion. It's no disrespect to the wrestlers, but it was a match that really struggled to get the audience invested, especially for the finish. From here, Stardom went on a great run and it kicked off with their trios title match, known as the Artists of Stardom Championship. The champions of the group, known as Prominence, consisting of members Risa Sera, Suzu Suzuki, and Haragi Kuremi. The trio came from the promotion of the same name. Risa Sera and Suzu Suzuki were a part of Stardom during the summer, participating in the 5-Star Grand Prix tournament. The trio would then have a couple matches, and then at the end of the year would win the trios titles. They would then run through the Triangle Derby tournament as champions, and they would retain in a great match against Queen's Quest, and then their next challengers would be revealed. After the match, Kairi would make her way down to the ring and ask if she could be next to challenge for the titles. Along with this, she revealed her partners, Cosmic Angels member Natsupoi and former Stardom member Sayori Ano. The match would start with Prominence looking to get the advantage right away, attacking the Restart members. The women would battle on the outside and afterwards isolated Kairi for their attacks. Though they haven't teamed as a trio, Kairi, Sayori, and Natsupoi all used their individual skills to their advantage. An example of this was Natsupoi using her speed to counteract Kurime's strength. There was a fun Tower of Doom spot that occurred because Natsupoi tripped Kurime into the powerbomb. The closer of the match was Suzuki and Ano facing off. The two laid into each other with stiff strikes. Ano eats a sick kendo shot to the stomach from Risa. The match comes to a close when Ano reverses Suzuki into a unique, intricate pin, and it was a great match and yet another title change on the night. Our next match is for Stardom's white belt, the Wonder of Stardom Championship. The match saw Saya Kamitani defend against familiar foe Mina Shirakawa. Viewers of this channel are probably tired of me saying this, but I won't go into too much detail about this match and the main event as well, as I have future videos planned for both. Put simply, the story going into this match was that Saya Kamitani was the 2nd longest reigning white belt champion and had the most defenses in championship history. During this reign, she faced off against Shirakawa. In the match, Kamitani would go for her signature Phoenix Splash, but things would go drastically wrong. Kamitani would land on Shirakawa's face, leaving her bloodied and battered. Upon her return, Shirakawa would take her time before challenging for the belt again. She would go on to form Club Venus as a subunit of the Cosmic Angels factions, and yet a few weeks before this show, the unit would officially become its own faction with Shirakawa as the leader. On the other side, Kamitani would continue her reign after the incident, but she was very wary of using that Phoenix Splash. She would finish most of her matches without using it, and it played into this match's story. Would she be able to hit the move on the woman she hurt before? It creates a very dramatic and intense moment, along with Shirakawa working over the knee to prevent her from even using the move. Along with this story is Mirai winning the Cinderella tournament and potentially challenging the winner. It sets up a great, unpredictable match that I just can't wait to talk about in full. Our next match is a special one. Shuri faces off against Sendai Girls ace Chihiro Hashimoto in a match that can only be won by knockout, submission, or ref stoppage. Leading up to the match, Hashimoto would face off against Shuri's stablemate Mirai and face foreigner Donna Del Mundo stablemate Himeka. Coming out victorious in both bouts, Hashimoto looked to prove that Shuri was in for more than she bargained for. Looking to make up for her loss 2 years ago, Shuri wants to prove that she can best Hashimoto. Add in the fact that both have outside experience, Shuri with MMA and UFC, and Hashimoto with amateur wrestling, and it's going to be a hard-hitting affair. The two start the match, and it's clearly different from the rest of the card. Think Super Card of Honor and how different Shibata versus Yuta was, and that's what you got here. These two women are trying their absolute hardest to knock each other out. There's a spot where Shuri just lays in stomp after stomp into Hashimoto. A big spot in the match is Shuri slamming Hashimoto off the top rope and transitioning it into an arm lock. Hashimoto gets back at Shuri by causing her to fall off the top rope. Hashimoto hits a huge powerbomb on Shuri, Shuri hits a kick, and then the two almost get a double knockout as they both hit each other. The match comes to a close when Shuri hits Hashimoto with a buzzsaw kick that barely keeps her down. Our next match is a special one for different reasons. The next match is what you would call a dream match for many. For the IWGP Women's Championship, Mayu Iwatani and Mercedes Moné face off for the first time ever. To some, it's the best from America facing off against not only the best from Japan, but arguably the best women's wrestler in the world. My excitement from this match came from seeing Moné's previous IWGP matches. If I'm being completely honest, I was somebody who just could never really get into any of the four horsewomen in WWE. Out of the four though, I always enjoyed Moné's in-ring work. And she only gained my interest once she left the WWE. And it's not because she left the company, but because of the thought behind it. She wanted better, so she left for better. While most would be complacent with their situation, she left wanting to follow her dream. That led her to Wrestle Kingdom 17, where after Kairi successfully defended the IWGP Women's Championship against Tam Nakano, Moné would make her debut. Gone was Sasha Banks, in was Mercedes Moné. She and Kairi would have an amazing match at New Japan Pro Wrestling's Battle in the Valley, with Moné capturing the IWGP Women's Championship. She would then go on to defend the IWGP Women's Championship at New Japan Pro Wrestling's Sakura Genesis in an excellent high-speed style match against Hazuki and Azumi. Video on that coming Friday. And finally, it led her here. Mayu Iwatani, the icon of Stardom, from the very first day. While others have come and gone, Mayu has always been here. Every title, every accomplishment, both the major tournaments in Stardom. Mayu has done it all. The two finally clashed and went back and forth. Mayu laid kicks into Moné while Moné looked to try and bully Mayu. Moné's arrogance would come to bite her many times though, like when Mayu countered the Moneymaker or when she flipped Mayu the Bird to try and get in her head only to get a vicious kick to the head. The match came to a surprising close when Mayu hit a huge dragon suplex for the win. The icon adds another accomplishment to her name, and Moné makes it clear that her time in Japan is just getting started. Along with this match was the criticism that it was too short and felt like they were just getting started. To that, Moné and Mayu made it clear this is only the beginning. On the horizon seems to be a match that will happen on US soil, and the looming idea that Moné could potentially have a 5-star Grand Prix run. Exciting times. Our main event. Stardom's Red Belt. The World of Stardom Championship. Years of story behind it. Julia versus Tam Nakano. Put simply, possibly my match of the year so far. I went in not knowing what to expect. The only thing I knew is that these two were going to go to the very ends of the earth. Despite the time it was when I watched this match, I was still very much into it. The match alone justified me staying up to watch it. I'll have more to say in its solo video, but just know it was a great match that culminated a long, beautiful story between these two, while still leaving the door open for more. With that said, Stardom closed out a historic show. It makes its claim for one of the best shows of the year and shows just how amazing, beautiful, and historic women's wrestling can be. I will forever be grateful for discovering Stardom in 2020. The promotion showed me just how great women's wrestling can be and overall renewed my love for wrestling, and this night was no different. The highlight was the fact that one of my friends joined to watch the entire event with me. I had posted about my excitement for the show, and he asked if he could join along for the experience. Similar to his Super Card of Honor experience, he went in knowing nothing of this promotion and walked away amazed at the matches. It was my joy to share this experience with him, and can only hope more felt the same if this was their first time tuning into Stardom. The future continues to be bright for Stardom, and I'm so glad to consistently be along for the ride. As it stands, it's between Queendom and Revolution for me. Either could take my vote, as they are both excellent, brilliant displays of why I love professional wrestling.